Five Out Basketball, 5 segments, 5 takes. This is the podcast for NBA conversations. This is 5 Out Basketball, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
West.
The West is a war. It's a bloodbath.
Yeah. So let's dive right in, bro.
Right in. We're gonna go to the number 1 versus number 8. I'll be talking Pelicans while Everton is talking Kings.
Yep.
Either way, they're going against the Thunder, who statistically are the best team in the NBA. I did not realize how good these numbers were.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the best in the past 15 games, but overall whole season, this team is incredible.
Yep. Do you want me to read
as a day one Thunder fan, just get into it.
Okay, so first off, OKC has the 3rd best offense and the 4th best defense, while the Kings have the 13th best offense and 14th best defense.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin Huerter's not playing because he's injured.
No.
Malik Monk?
No.
Okay. You want to say
No,
something?
I was just taking a breath. My fault.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna keep it short. I have OKC in 5. Now, I'm not gonna disrespect the Kings, but last season, right, their whole thing was their offense. This team has been mid offensively. And we obviously know they're not really that good defensively either. Right? So I think for the Thunder, for the Kings specifically, this is a bad matchup. Not gonna lie. Because we're a top offense and a top defense. So we're better than them at the thing they're supposed to be the best at. And we're better than them at the thing they're supposed to be mid at.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So and then when you keep into the fact, like Malik Monk he could be a 6th Man of the Year winner this season. And he's not gonna be playing. That's like your 2nd best perimeter player.
Yeah.
At times, literally. And then Kevin Huerter, he's been kind of last season he was a shooter. This season he's been kind of okay, Kevin Huerter. I don't know how to feel about you, but still missing a shooter is not good for this team. I like De'Aaron and I respect De'Aaron Fox. But I'm not gonna lie. If we put Dort on De'Aaron, it is going to be tough. Now, De'Aaron is still a really good player, so I'm not gonna say we're gonna flat out put bro in a box, but we put Dort on De'Aaron, could be very tough for De'Aaron. And then Sabonis, I don't really know how I feel about Sabonis in the playoffs. I'll keep it a bean. I don't really know how I feel about it in the playoffs. Like, I think this isn't the worst matchup for him because Chet is a smaller dude, but I don't really trust Sabonis to go crazy. And I think Chet's shot blocking ability can still make up for his size. Obviously, he's been doing that the whole season, so clearly it's going to work in some way. Now, the last thing I'll say is these two teams did split games this year, so that might be something to look out for. But at the end of the day, OKC in 5. I could be biased, though.
Okay. No, I don't think there's any bias at all because these numbers, they just move me throughout whole season. 1st in 3-point percentage, 12th in 3-point percentage allowed, 17th points in the paint, 7 points in the paint allowed. 1st transition offense, 1st transition defense, 7th in turnovers, and then 7th best bench rating. Evan, you know how long it took me to nitpick a bad stat for the Thunder? I have one, and it's nitpicking.
Okay, what is it?
When it comes to defensive rebounding, they're 29th in defensive rebounding percentage. So don't let a hungry team be ready to get some offensive boards against the Thunder. Is all I'm going to say.
Gosh. That's actually not a bad stat.
Thank you. Because you're going against one of the grittiest teams in the New Orleans Pelicans, a team I loved heavily. Because this whole season, so in the past 15 games hasn't been the greatest, but whole season, 5th in 3-point percentage, 2nd in 3-point percentage allowed, 9th points in the paint, 5th points in the paint allowed, and then 6th best defensive rebounding percentage, and the 3rd best bench rating. This team was disgusting. I thought this team was so underrated this whole season. Yeah. I made a TikTok about it and say, watch out for the Pelicans. This could be a Western Conference Finals contender. Then Zion gets hurt. All those numbers you can throw out the window. Simple as that. I love this team. But without Zion, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum can't be your best scoring options.
CJ?
Stunk the bed.
Hey, CJ, you lucky Clay did what he did.
Yeah, no, actually.
Man, CJ, after that first game, I was like, yo, is CJ a real person? Then Clay happened. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. CJ is really lucky he doesn't have 4 rings to flex as well because people would have been memeing him for it.
And
you're CJ lucky you have no rings.
Weren't they talking shit to each other?
They were. Yeah, crazy mid-off that happened yesterday. But gotta be honest, without Zion, just straight to the point, I'm not gonna prolong this. It's a sweep for the Thunder.
You got a sweep. Yeah, I mean, look, the only reason why I gave the Kings a game is because they might have that one random De'Aaron 40 ball that just, hey, nothing we could do about it. But Outside of that, and maybe I do that. I might do that way too often, where I'm like,
Yeah.
just give me that one random game. But I don't
Huh.
know with the NBA how it is, with how high powered these offenses are. There's
Mhm.
it's just bound to happen in a way. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
I would not be mad at a sweep, obviously.
Yeah, not at all. And just if the Pelicans had Zion, I actually think this would be a really competitive series. Like I'd probably say more 6 games, but no
Hmm.
Zion, there's no point arguing. And
Yeah,
probably the biggest strength the Thunder have is their depth. I know they have Josh Giddey starting, who's actually been like really good these past 10, 15 games. Allegations aside and all that, he's like been hooping. But let's say there's a scenario where instead of a defender, they need another scorer. It's like, all right, here comes Cason Wallace, here comes Isaiah Joe, here comes Aaron Wiggins. It's
hmm,
whatever the Thunder need. They just have that at their disposal.
yeah,
And that's why it makes them such a lethal team and hard for other teams to match up against.
yeah. The last thing I'll say before we move on, it's a shame Zion's not playing because we could have had the biggest freak off between Josh Giddey and Zion Williamson, bro.
That's crazy. All right, we're gonna transition right away. Yeah, we heard that here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't
I'm
let
sorry.
Terrence Shannon Jr. get drafted into this, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, moving
Oh,
on, we have a 4 versus 5 series, which is going to be
ooh.
one of the most fun matchups in the playoffs.
This is what I was talking about. When you said the Cavs and Magic, I said, I feel like this is a really close one too.
Well,
But
I think this one's farther apart because it's going to be the Clippers versus the Mavericks. Kawhi's not as healthy. Give me Mavericks in 5.
ooh, I forgot Kawhi's not healthy. So I had
I
Mavericks in
love this
7.
Mavericks team.
I had Mavericks in 7, but
Boo!
I forgot Kawhi was
Boo!
not healthy. I totally forgot Kawhi was not healthy.
Yeah, because the Clippers need Kawhi because they have 3 playoff chokers next to Kawhi. You can't,
Yeah.
like, I know you go judging off the past, but you really got to judge on the season. But
Hmm.
that past is too scary with these guys to ignore it. James Harden,
Boy.
Paul George, and Westbrook, like, I'm not trusting it at
Mm-mm.
all.
Nah, me neither. I
Numbers aren't
totally
there.
forgot.
Numbers are not there also. Because guess what? One of the craziest statistic in the world is
What is?
past 15 games, the Mavericks have the best defensive rating.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
That's
Hmm.
horrifying for a team that's not supposed to be able to defend.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
like I know the offensive rating, like it's 21st right now. That's gonna
Hmm.
change. We just know it is. When you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Luka
yeah.
Doncic, that number's gonna improve. And a bad defensive team that had the best defense is horrifying heading the playoffs. Last 15 games when
Hmm.
they needed to win, they defended their ass off. So
Yeah.
this is a completely new, different team, a completely different team.
Hmm.
And I know Luka's taking the series personal, man. He
Oh
keeps
yeah,
losing the Clippers in the playoffs. I think Luka's gonna have a career series, which is horrifying to think about what a career series could be for Luka.
I
But
know.
I think it's here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read the all season numbers. Granted, honestly, the Mavericks numbers are gonna be kind of brought down strictly because they were kind of a different team after the trade deadline.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, numbers are still numbers. So the Clippers have the 4th best offense and the 16th best defense, which when you look at the Clippers roster, 16th is kind of underwhelming, if we're being honest. Like when you have Kawhi and PG, you would expect a team like that to be a top 10 defense. But oh, wait, one of them isn't as good on defense anymore. Anyways, the Mavericks have the 8th best offense. And that's why when you brought up that the offense has been the same the past 15 games, I'm like, they've been good all season. I know the Mavericks will be fine.
Yeah.
And then the 18th best defense, which alarms me almost like, what was it before?
No, it
Because
was. I'm pretty sure it was bottom 5. Like it was that bad.
had to have been that bad. But so I had Mavericks in 7 because I forgot about Kawhi, but no Kawhi. That Mavericks in 5 pick looking a little nice right now.
Yeah. I don't think
Um,
Kawhi's gonna be out the whole series. Like I'm not worried as him for I am Giannis, but if Kawhi's
mhm,
not at 100%, man, and this Mavericks team is at 100% with a bunch of freak athletes on the court to pair with Luca,
yeah,
I like. You will see this. I'm in love with this team. Like in
yeah.
love with this team.
Hmm. So the other thing with Kawhi, right? If Kawhi plays like 2 to 3 games, I can actually see them winning those 2 games. But here's the
Mhm.
thing with Kawhi. Kawhi's the kind of dude who will play the whole game, and then after the game, you're like, he'll come over to report, yeah, he's not playing the rest of the series. That's literally what he does.
Mm,
So I don't know. That's why I'll say Mavs in 6 because if Kawhi is going to play somewhat in this series, I'll give them the pass so they
mm.
probably win 2 games. But here's my biggest thing. Like you mentioned in the past, Luka's lost to this team twice in the playoffs before. And how close did he get in both of those series? Didn't they both go to 7 or 6?
So close. It was
So
6 or 7.
close.
Yeah, I think
With
one was 6, the
literally
other was 7. With
exactly.
Maxi Kleber as a starting center.
Not even just that. With Kristaps Porzingis averaging 12 points a game. Jalen
Oh my
Brunson, I
God.
won't throw any shade at him because Jalen Brunson is still Jalen Brunson.
Mm.
But you know the biggest factor here is one, Luka's going to be on some shit. I could already see it.
Yeah.
Kyrie freaking Irving. Like,
So underrated now,
bro,
which is I can't believe the sentence I could say.
right? I've been saying this the past few weeks that Kyrie has been probably the best number 2 in the league, if not the second, because whatever you consider LeBron and AD. But regardless, he's been like the second best, like second option in the league. And that's a definitely X factor for this Mavericks team. Like in the past, it was kind of just Luka, you figure it out. Now you got Luka figuring it out and Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie's had a phenomenal season too. Like his
He's
numbers
been
have been
great.
insane. So, and then my last point, the post trade deadline Mavericks,
Different.
different level of team right there. Like different gravy right there. Like Daniel Gafford was a phenomenal pickup, and he's been, brother,
Yeah.
he's been good.
I've been a day one Gafford dick rider. My heart was devastated when the Bulls traded him because I loved him since Arkansas. I was just like, this guy's just fun to watch.
For who?
And then,
Chandler Hutchison, right? Or was it for
yeah,
Otto Porter?
for Otto Porter.
Ooh. Damn. Um
And then, who's another one of my favorite Bulls players? Derek Jones Jr. is so exciting. He's just lightning in a bottle.
And
Let him
where
walk
is he
free
now?
agency for nothing.
For nothing.
And now these
Oh.
balls just get catching alley oops from Luka Doncic.
And PJ Washington. What a pickup. To trade Mr. Yapper Grant Williams for PJ Washington. What a steal.
Yeah, the Mavericks
Such a
fleeced this
steal.
trade deadline, and literally they went from play-in contender to, oh my God, this team could make it to the finals potential.
Literally. And
we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah. So but for my last stat, the Mavericks went 1-2 against this team during the regular season. But if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of those games were pre-trade deadline. So
yes,
definitely the number to keep in fact. And then the last point, the 3 chokers. Bro, Harden, we know what he does in the playoffs. He might have that one Harden game, and then the rest of the games are like PG, kind of the same thing as Harden, where he's either ass or like he's okay. And then Russ is like here's the thing with Russ. Yes, he has his playoff choker. Last year he was actually pretty good in the playoffs. Like he was kind of carrying this team, but they lost anyways. But with his new role, it doesn't even really matter what his numbers look like as long as his effort is there, because that's really what he became nowadays. This is called spade to spade. He's not gonna put up crazy numbers anymore. He's just gonna be Russ could have an 8-8-8 game, and he impacted the game more than all 3 of those dudes, you know? So I feel like when it comes to Russ, as long as he's doing the little things, he'll be fine. But that ain't enough to beat the Mavericks.
No,
so,
they need him to hustle his ass off on defense, though. But it's just the big thing that I think really screws this Clippers team is there's just not a planet where Zubac is defending these pick and roll alley oops. It's just not happening. Let me think of a food item real quick. This is like gonna be what's the thing you put on like on seafood or like steak? It's like no homo, but it's like the black ball things you can put on. It's like rich people eat it.
Oh, like caviar?
Yeah, they're gonna see Zubac as caviar, bro. They're about to feast on him. It's gonna be ridiculous.
It is. Nah, he's always been like free eats against the Mavs. I ain't gonna lie. Like always been free eats.
Bon appetit Chinese buffet. They eat whenever they want. It's 24/7.
Every time.
But let's move on to, I think, a sneakily competitive series.
Yes.
And that's going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
The Suns team got red hot at the right time, but the Timberwolves, Cat's back, which is huge.
Yes.
They needed that so bad.
They did. For it to be a decoy.
I know Cat low-key sells in the playoffs, but Anthony Edwards can't be the only guy who can get you a bucket.
True.
Quick numbers, past 15 games. The Timberwolves, 11th in offense, 9th in defense. The Phoenix Suns, 6th in offense, and surprisingly 12th in defense.
Yeah.
It's like kind of 50-50 right now. Every time I'm going to let you go first. Because I'm not going to lie, this is going to completely decide what my prediction will be.
I got Timberwolves in 6.
Okay. I got Phoenix Suns in 7.
Okay.
I was just going to go the opposite. Couldn't agree the whole time because this is the most 50-50 I've been on a series. So I was just going to pick whatever the opposite one was.
Which is fine.
I think it's a complete coin flip.
It is really close to a coin flip.
Because you have one of the best defensive teams versus one of the best offensive teams.
Exactly.
Which one? I know defense tends to win more, but the offense isn't really there. And KD, Devin Booker, I love those guys.
Yeah.
Boo. Don't put them in this conversation. Get out of here. Shut up.
Okay. So the all season numbers, the Timberwolves have the 17th best offense, which is damn. I didn't realize. Yeah, damn. And then the Suns have the 10th best offense, which honestly, ironically feels a little low in a way because like with those with those two guys,
Uh-huh.
I would expect them to be higher, especially with Grayson Allen having the season he had too. But
Yeah.
hey, um, and then the Timberwolves have the best defense, obviously.
Yep.
And the Suns have the 13th best defense, which is higher than I thought they would
Yeah.
be, honestly speaking. Like,
Mm.
which kind of says a lot about them because that means we didn't expect them to be shit on defense. But
Yeah.
for them to be 13th is honestly respect to them. Honestly, respect to them. But
Mhm.
and then my last number. This is kind of I don't know how much this matters, but the Timberwolves are 0-3 versus Suns this season.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have Cat who's 50-50 on health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ooh.
I
It's
mean,
getting scary, mate.
it's tough. But my reason for the Timberwolves, one, Ant has been a playoff riser. Both
Absolutely.
times he's been to the playoffs. Like against the Nuggets last year, Ant was going stupid. They lost, but he was going crazy.
Mm.
So I could see that happening, especially with this defense. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Suns roster. Who's guarding Ant, really?
Not a
Like
soul.
realistically, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, look, I know and the game slows down. The defense will come to play. Like we're talking
Mhm.
about a Rudy Gobert who I know the Wemby thing's been, but he's still a great defensive player. We can't
Absolutely.
act like he's not,
Yeah.
right? He's
I'm not a
clearly
liar.
like he's still top three defensively, right?
Top two.
Top two, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right, top
Mm.
two defensive player. So, he'll play a huge factor in this. And then Cat, I don't know how he'll perform. I called him a decoy because they're gonna guard him like he's Cat, but let's be honest, we don't know what he's gonna actually end up playing like.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if he can impact this series offensively, then we're gonna have the Timberwolves could definitely come out with the victory. And then my last thing, hey, they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. No,
Still a
but
famous quote.
genuinely, for people who don't, because a lot of people don't know Jaden McDaniels, so when they hear that video, they're like, "Yo, what was Ant talking about?" Jaden McDaniels is one of the best defensive perimeter players in the league,
Yeah.
like
All defensive caliber, like
all
that good.
defensive caliber, easily, and he has the athleticism,
Mhm.
pause, the length and size to guard a Kevin Durant. Now I know Kevin Durant's still Kevin Durant, but as we've seen over the past few playoffs, you can definitely do something to Kevin Durant. Like against the Celtics, he had a generational shitter. Like they got swept and he was terrible. Against
Mhm.
the Nuggets, I mean, he had like two good games, but a lot of those games, Kevin Durant really wasn't that good against the Nuggets. Like he struggled against the Nuggets. So I think with the Timberwolves being the defensive level team that they are, they could definitely make Durant struggle. And like the Nuggets showed us, look, D-Book could go do whatever he wants. D-Book might average
Mhm.
40. It don't
Yeah.
matter if nobody else is doing anything.
Mm. But
So,
that's my worry for the vice versa. It's just like Anthony
mhm.
Edwards can drop like a 40-50
True.
bomb.
True, true,
Timberwolves
true.
still can struggle to score 100 points on any given night when those
That's
numbers
true.
happen.
Yeah,
And
that's
like
true.
I'm trying to think of defensive matchups because like of course Gobert's gonna be in the paint, and then you get
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels on Durant. Who in the world is Karl Anthony Towns guarding? I think that's such a worry because like Gobert's gonna be taking center minutes. You can have Cat
Mm-hmm.
on the perimeter defending like Beal, Grayson Allen.
Uh,
Where you placing that dingus?
damn. Damn. He might have to just guard Grayson Allen. Damn. Because you can't have no, because if Cavs guarding Booker, bro, no, no, no,
No,
no.
no, no.
Not happening. And kind of same with Beal. I know Beal ain't the Beal of the past, but it's still
Mm.
Bradley Beal.
And
I'd rather him guard
if
Allen.
you have a Cat defending him on the perimeter, like oh my God, this is gonna be some fresh cut up salad that they're trying to eat on. Stay healthy. We're not. It's not bulk season, but like we still eating good. We eating healthy
Yeah,
out here. Like it's gonna be healthy
exactly.
buckets if they have Cat on them.
Exactly.
So I
They might have to just live with they might, hey, if Grayson Allen's dropping 20 the whole series, but
let
everybody
him
else is
drop 20.
struggling, they could
Yeah,
win that series.
yeah, absolutely. I think this goes to 7 either way, depending on who I was gonna pick. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd like the Suns. I think this is the best possible matchup this team could have gotten.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, looking at the other top seeds, this is definitely their best matchup,
Mm.
honestly
And they
speaking.
got hot at the right time. Like I don't know what their record was in the past 15 games, but like this, they were winning games that like mattered. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I really like this team. And again, I always gonna rely on Booker and Durant. I rely on them more than just Anthony Edwards. Even though Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Edwards, I know is gonna rise. Cat
Yeah.
doesn't rise.
No.
We've seen Gobert have some stinkers, but that's because he had no other perimeter defenders against him. Don't
Yeah.
completely blame it on him.
No.
And like again, let's say if Anthony Edwards has one bad night, the Suns will automatically win that game,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Okay, so what
So
about the bench aspect?
okay, I have numbers here for this. Hold on.
Perfect. Perfect.
So the Timberwolves do have the second best bench, and this doesn't just come to scoring; it's just overall net rating. Do I know how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
NBA.com calculates it? No, I just gonna trust them. I know what they're talking
Hey,
about.
we're gonna roll with it.
So they have the second best at 3.1, and
Mhm.
the Suns are middle of the pack. They're 18th with a minus .6.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Now I know in the playoffs, teams only go about 2 to 3 guys into their bench, but we're talking about Nas Reed,
which is
who at first it
huge.
was kind of a meme, but dude, he could legitimately be a 6 man of the year too. Like I
Yeah,
know I said the same with
he's my
Malik
pick
Monk,
over
but
Malik Monk.
and I'm not mad at that. Like it's really between those two.
Mm,
And you got a Nikhil Alexander Walker, Kyle Anderson. Well, he might no Kyle Anderson too.
yeah,
Um, there's another person, and I'm
yeah.
completely blanking.
Respectfully, I don't care about Kyle Anderson or like Shake Milton or Nikhil Alexander Walker in these playoffs. I don't care at
So who's on the
all.
Suns bench?
No one. I don't care. Let's be 5v5 the whole time. I don't care. I'm
Okay,
still taking the
okay,
Suns
okay.
5.
That's fine.
Mm.
That's fine. You don't care about Nas Reed?
I was just gonna say, here's my controversial take for this series alone.
Okay.
I'd start Reed over Cat.
You know what? You know what? If two
I
games in, Cat is ass,
mm,
you got to make that adjustment.
absolutely. I think
Hmm.
Cat still is better than Naz Reid. I don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah,
But I think with the
obviously.
situation the Timberwolves are in defensively, and I know Naz Reid
Yep.
can still get you a bucket. I think
Hmm.
it's just a better matchup. So I'd get Reed in as quick as possible. Curse
Yep.
Finch, you're my coach of the year. Prove why.
Mark Dango won it.
Yeah, I know, like unanimously too. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, unanimous is crazy. But pass to my coach.
Yeah,
Pass to my coach.
he does deserve it. Absolutely. Don't want to take anything away from him. But we are going to take away from this conversation because we have a rematch of last year of the most competitive sweep of all time, as the Denver Nuggets will be going back up against the LA Lakers. Now, this Lakers team got red hot at the right time. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Past 15 games, 8th offensive rating, 10th defensive rating. And then the Nuggets, 5th offensive rating, and then 6th defensive rating. These teams, this is one of the
Yeah.
best match. Like, this is going to be an awesome matchup. I'm not going to lie. Even if it's another competitive sweep, which is not my prediction, but let's say it comes down to this, it's going to be another war.
Mm-hmm.
I love this series. And then Darvin Ham gets a lot of crap to him.
He does.
But I've been impressed with his defensive schemes these past couple of days. I just think he can't do rotations for shit. But
No.
I actually think there is a little bit of knowledge in that man when it comes to schemes and X's and O's. Because
Mm-hmm.
the first game against the Pelicans, the strategy was genius. You had LeBron on Zion and Anthony Davis waiting in the paint, and then Zion was forced to take mid rangers, which worked out. But
Yeah.
then the second game,
Yeah.
LeBron was coasting off a little bit, and AD was on him, and then it was like, uh oh. So
Yeah.
I think I give Darvin Ham a little bit of credit. And this Lakers starting 5 they have now is actually awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I've hated D'Angelo Russell.
He's been
I can't
good.
talk shit no more. D'Angelo Russell's been
Nah,
incredible this whole second
he
half of the season. He's
has.
been huge. And then
Mm-hmm.
Roy Hachimura, low-key underrated playoff riser.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been good this season too. I know I called him the mid player of the year in the
Mm.
last episode, but doesn't change the fact he's still mid. But he's been like good this year. So
And
no
then
hate to my boy Rui.
then you have the golden boy, 25-year-old Austin Reeves, who he's still a hooper. He still gets
He
buckets. And
is.
then
He is. He is.
just happen to have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on that
Yeah.
team.
Mm-hmm.
And this team, they're smart with it. They're 5th in transition offense. They get a buckets, and then 2nd in points in the paint, which is
Mm-hmm.
huge for them. But 21st in points allowed in the paint, which is not good. Then 8 3-point percentage. So Lakers, I got some numbers.
Okay.
But do we need to, should we talk about the Nuggets numbers, of course?
Yeah. Go ahead and read them off.
I'm gonna be a second. 9 3-point percentage, 8 3-point percentage allowed, 5th points in the paint, 18 points in the paint allowed. Not the best considering how good the Lakers are with getting points in the paint. And then this team does not do anything in transition offensively. 23rd transition offense, then 9th
Mm.
transition defense,
Mm.
5th in turnovers, and then 22nd in bench rating. Not that good. And then 11th defensive rebounding percentage. So they pretty average at getting the rebounds. But this Nuggets team's incredible. They've been incredible the past 15 games. They've been incredible the whole season. But I don't think they get the sweep this time.
Okay, so I'm gonna read off my quick numbers before we both give our predictions. If
Okay.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now these are all season, obviously. So the Nuggets are the 5th best offense versus
Mhm.
the Lakers' 15th offense.
Mm-hmm.
The Nuggets have the 8th best defense versus the Lakers' 17th best defense. And here's a big one. The Lakers have not beat the Nuggets since 2022.
Which is crazy.
I think
And
that's eight games that they've played, or some like that. Something like that. They've lost the last 8 straight games to the Nuggets.
and that's why I'm gonna flip it on you.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that record has to break.
Of
I know.
course.
So that's why
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be here because the Nuggets will have to win 4 in a row, which I don't think they're gonna do. I'm debating between two numbers, but I think I'm gonna play it safe. I think I'm gonna go
Okay.
Nuggets in 5, but I can't see the Lakers pulling 2.
I'm going Nuggets in 5 as well. The reason why I'll give them, I keep saying it. There's gonna be that one game, and look, when you have But here's the thing: when you have LeBron and AD, I can
Anything
really
can happen.
trust
Yeah.
anything, you know. So with that in mind, okay, here's the biggest thing. This is gonna sound crazy, but LeBron is a low-key X factor for this team.
Yeah.
Like obviously, the biggest X factor is like low-key D'Lo, keeping
Mhm.
the bean. Because if D'Lo is playing like he played last playoffs, they might get swept again. But if he's playing up to par, sure. LeBron, for all my Lakers fans, I know y'all watch some games. This man LeBron was shooting so many threes for no reason. Like I can vividly remember in like game 2 or some shit. This man would come down the court, shoot a three, miss. Come down the court again, shoot a three, miss. Kept going. I'm like, LeBron, do you know you're 6'9", 250, big dog? Get in the paint. What are you doing, buddy? I know he was kind of hurt, so whatever, but LeBron was tweaking out there. So hopefully he's been healthier now. So hopefully that means he'll be fine. But yeah, outside of that one game, look, I saw a compilation earlier today about the shots the Lakers were hitting last series. Dude, who stopped Jokic?
Not a soul. Not a soul. But you play the best defense in the world and you still score, and it's just like
What are you gonna do?
nothing you can do.
No.
There is a strategy though.
What's the strat?
You get him in foul trouble early. That's literally the only way to beat Jokic.
I mean,
And
yeah,
if they're
that is.
not good in the paint defensively, and you have the second best offense in the paint the whole season, you
Mhm.
straight up have to target him and hope he gets some fouls called on him. Because that's literally the only method to stopping Jokic is him not being in the game.
And that might even be that effective. Unfortunately. Jokic he has like, did I mention it for the Aura Award?
We did not.
But Jokic has a lot of aura. Now he doesn't do anything, but how good he is, there's some aura in that. Like
Yes, there
he's
is.
in that category as like, oh shit, we got the Nuggets tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in that bracket of like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Everton talked about D'Lo being the X factor, and I'm a lot more confident with him than last season because like I was watching the game against the Pelicans, he's just talking shit to the crowd the whole time. Like he just looks locked in, like he's having a good time. And we saw when D'Lo was having a good time in Brooklyn.
True.
If the vibes are there, I think he can be fun. So I think the Lakers, they have some competition going this way. I really like the starting five. The bench, I hate. They really need to cut down the rotation because there's no one on the bench getting them a bucket.
Gabe Vincent
But dude,
getting minutes.
I would say I saw Gabe Vincent the other day. I couldn't fucking believe it.
And he made a few shots too. I was like, I turned on the game and I'm like, who just hit a three? I was like, huh? Is that Mr. Ghost Award himself? I'm like, hold on, what's
back.
Going on? He on his MJ tour.
That's crazy. But yeah, then like what? Yeah, like Cam Reddish coming off the bench. Who cares? Jared Vanderbilt coming off the bench when he's injured, right?
He's injured. Yeah, I don't think he's playing. Torian Prince.
Dude,
you know, Torian Prince actually has the lowest PER.
I don't care.
I don't either.
Dude, Darvin Ham had a fetish for that boy though. He must have been seeing that statistic.
Man, I don't know. He just kept playing that dude. Who else is on that bench? Max Christie. He's not touching the court. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way he touches the court.
Chicago high school hoops legend though.
Yeah. Hey,
quit playing.
I do respect to my man's Max Christie, but
we were watching him on Slow Shay Official. Quit playing.
You know Slow Shay, yeah.
Oh, dude, not a sidetrack, but I interviewed Derek.
You did?
Yeah, for a project at ECC, the community. Yeah.
What?
Then I went to one of his events. I have a photo with him. So yeah, I do know Slow Shay heavy like that.
Dang, I used to watch him a lot in high school because obviously you know
he doesn't really make the video highlights like that anymore. But dude, prime Slow Shay was the shit.
Boy, oh
you just
my
had to
gosh.
be there. Yeah, I can't wait till like all these newbies start talking about like these new like video packages. Like, oh, they're better Slow Shay. Oh my god, they don't know how good
Slow Shay. Oh my, you know they're starting to do it with Ball's Life, man. Might be for another video, but the fall off for Ball's Life, y'all don't understand. When I used to turn on YouTube and hear this is Ball is Life. Oh my god. Anyways, sidetrack.
Make a documentary on that. But let's get back on track. Do we have anything else that we need to say about this series?
Honestly, no. I think we both agree Nuggets will win this series in about 5 or 6. It could be a sweep again. I would not rule that out. But
not at all.
When you have LeBron and AD, I can't. I say 5. Roll 5.
So me and Everton are super boring. We almost went 8 for 8, and I changed one of mine on the fly just so we wouldn't be exactly the same. This is such a fun podcast where we debate all the time. Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the 5 Out Podcast. I am Joey, the LeMaster, and me and Everton are so thankful for your guys' support. If you want to keep supporting us, please check out the full podcast on Spotify and follow our TikTok account. Both of those will be in the bio, and make sure to leave a like and stay smooth.